We heard the story this morning. We see you see they reference Hannah. They reference Hannah initially in the Old Testament, and the culmination of the Old Testament in the book of Matthew. Matthew's first chapter is a genealogy chapter. You know, he kind of put the line, the lineage, and Jewish people are known to think their lineage to be very important, and so that's how people can trace themselves back. The unfortunate thing with us, the so-called, the Africans that live in America, or Africans that was born in America, most of our lineage gets cut off, or the results is shady at best. And they're shady at best. Good morning. No, I'm saying I'm favor. It's shady at best because once they, 188 years of stealing people, displacing them, and taking and separating, because initially in the slave trade didn't separate the families, nor that they try to take the history away from them. But those skilled in the trade told them that you have to take everything. This is how special, this is how good these people is. So you have to take anything from them that they can identify with their history. So you have to steal their history away from them. So they don't know who they are, where they come from, and so we know that they divided the families up. And so some of us have a burning desire to know where we come from. And they have all these DNA now sites, and people go on the DNA sites and try to find historical background on their families, but you have to be careful about that, because after 1865, a lot of freed so-called slaves, but I say freed prisoners of war, because our ancestors fought to their death and fought into their freedom. Amen. There was outgunned and outmanned, but they still was fighting, and in a lot of cases winning. So, but then after they was released from being prisoners of war, then some of them just took on popular names. So you can't always find out where your ancestors came from because of the last name that you hold. As we know, Johnson seemed to be a big name, big last name. Well, the Johnsons was popular, so a lot of people that were slaves, when they became free, they took on the name Johnson because they wanted to be connected to something that was popular, just like still to today. Not that it mean nothing to you, but because it seemed to be what the crowd is going for, I'm gonna go for it. See, it appears to be the thing of right now, of the time, so I'm going to get with the thing. So I'm not going to stay true to my historical self, or the historical significance of self and where we come from in our ancestralship, but I'm going to pretend that I'm a part of something that I may not be a part of. I'm going to try to fit into something that I may not fit into. And so thus we have these wasted time arguments on Facebook about being Hebrew and being this, and Hebrew's not African, and all that old foolishness. Peter Tosh said it best, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man or woman, you're African. Now, you can want to deny that, but that can't be taken away from us. Now, the thing about our lineage, then when we get back to Africa, can we really connect ourselves back with where we come from? Well, some years ago before Hurricane Katrina, I took the DNA test when it first came out. Like now they're paying $65. I paid $600. I paid $600, and they told me that my lineage should be Lagos, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Sierra Leone. But then that's something. But then when you go there, then they have different tribes, different groups, you see what I'm saying? So they took our ability to know ourselves fully away from us, right? So why argue something that you really can't prove? Why get caught up in something that benefit your enemy, not you? Because the end of the day is, as Peter Tosh say, as long as you're a black man, no matter where you come from, you're a black man, you're African, so okay, let's establish that. And let's do like Malcolm X say. Let's leave Christianity, Judaism, Islam, all of them are slave religions anyway. Let's leave all these old religions these people created just to put us in the trick bag outside the door, and let's come in the door and all be African. And then let's work for what's better for the African community. How about we do that? Because all the other information we must be suspect about, because most of the information that we have made readily available to us is from our enemy. When have you known your enemy to give you something beneficial to self? Really? More likely the enemy gonna give you information that's beneficial to them, not to you. So you have to be suspect about information that people is trying to get you to validate as your truth when you can't validate it outside of them saying it. Only a fool do that now. Now we've been sleeping long enough. We all have been foolish, but it's time to wake up. It's time for us to wake up and be accounted for. So we see when Hannah had a mission. Hannah knew. She thought she knew who God was. Here they tell us that in Matthew that a child was born, a gift is given, and he should be called Emmanuel, God with us. And he should die for his people. But then the trick to that is if the world hadn't been exposed to that, and only a small bit of people have been exposed to that, then what benefit would it be to the kingdom? When we talk kingdom far exceeds borders and boundaries. So when we think about in Israel, for instance, so the Bible says Israel, so black people on Facebook is fighting about Israel, saying that Israel is not a part of Africa when you can clearly see it's connected to Africa as Africa. So that's a wasted effort. So we spend so much time wasting effort that if something was granted to us, we're not utilizing it. So I did a program Thursday on a podcast, and it was a powerful people living powerless. And people live powerless because they don't know who they are. Then they get their information from the enemy. And when you get your information from the enemy, you will, no matter how informed you think you become, you're still powerless because you don't know the truth. And if the Bible says you should know the truth and the truth should make you free, then why are you not seeking the truth again? Now mind you, you can stand up, you can Google, and some information can come up. But if you know something, a lot of times that don't come up because they don't want you to know that. But if you know it and you do put something else in it, then it'll come up. So you have to seek to find. You have to knock for the door be open, and you have to ask, and it shall be granted unto you. And it is said that Solomon could have gotten anything that Solomon wanted, but Solomon said that I want wisdom. I want to be wise. So now, in my wisdom, in my wiseness, in my coming to light, in my waking up, in my deprogramming, ready myself to reprogram, in my introspection, because I have to look inside of me and start there before I can be effective anywhere else. So am I doing all these things? Will I ever come to the full knowledge of myself? Can I ever know who I am? Can I ever identify with myself outside of being connected to something that was created by people that doesn't have my best interest at heart? Can it happen? So if it can, then good for me if I'm smart enough to look further, to dig a little deeper in. But if I just want to go with what's popular, all I have to do is sit around and listen. There's enough crap going around and enough false information given out in a day's time to kill the earth over and over again. There's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and intended, listen to this, intended enslaved information. And people will argue you to death defending it. You know why? Like they had a guy posted on Facebook that Jesus wasn't real. And of course it offended some people, but I told him delivery is 90% of acceptance. But the brother told, here's what I told them who attacked, but he did tell you to do some research. You see, he suggested that you do some study, as the Bible said, to show yourself approved before God. For workmen needed not to be ashamed. Learn how to rightly divide the word of truth. But instead of doing that, we defend that what we think we know, knowing we really don't know nothing. Because what we know have been taught to us by people who wasn't authorized to teach. So like they say, how can you teach what you do not know? How can you lead where you're not willing to go? But again, people fall for the okie doke. And so we have all these things going on. So we have all these debates that the name Jesus is only 500 years old. That's a proven fact. So historically, it wasn't Jesus. Whatever it wasn't Jesus. Over 500 years ago, it wasn't Jesus, that's for sure. So you got these arguments going on, and people offending each other and everything. But how can you work together? The Bible says, how can two come together unless they agree? So as long as we continue to argue about there was no Jesus, or Jesus is the Messiah, and the only way to heaven is through Jesus, as long as we continue with those wasteful arguments, because each one of those things that I just said is wasteful, and we start seeking the true truth and coming together in a productive debate, and not so much debate, I don't really like to use the words debate, but forum, where we can sit and respect each other's opinion. And that's all it is an opinion. Let's be real. Once you go west of Baton Rouge, a whole culture shift you experience. Once you get in Acadiana, it's like you're in a different world. And all you did is went 100 miles away. You didn't go far. But it's a different world. They do things different in the Lafayette, Broussard, all those areas than we do. They speak different than how we speak here in this region, in this area. They cook different from how we cook in this area. Who's right and who's wrong? That's a serious question. Who's right and who's wrong? Is there both right and both wrong? So when we can put those things aside, when we can start focusing on what's best for us as a people, when we start realizing that we are to be foundation builders and we are to be held accountable by our grandchildren for either what we done or didn't do, then maybe we can get a little more serious at this thing. Because everybody in here is over 50. Some of us, well, most of us is almost 60 above. So if we, it's not for us. It's for those who come behind us. But what are we doing? Will we continue to perpetuate something that we know is not the truth? Because the populists say that's what to do. Or do we seek ye first the kingdom of God and God's righteousness, knowing that everything else will be added unto us? Do we seek true knowledge? Do we seek knowledge from the person or the gender that God put here first? I was just reading something just now said, if God would have taken the rib out of Adam, that it would have created another man, so it would be Adam and Steve, not Adam and Eve. I just was reading that. So, something else to think about, some more information to process. And so the thing is that how important is that? And like I was just saying, when somebody says something about LGBT and they have a whole lot, the thing is, why is your bedroom in the church again? Remind me. Why is your bedroom in the barroom or the restaurant? Remind me. What you do in your bedroom is supposed to be your personal and private business, and whoever you do it with. But we want to, we now are stuck with this throw it in your face stuff, and all this throw it in your face, and proclamation of this and that. I've confessed with my mouth, believe in my heart, Allah, this and that, and then historically this and that. So we get so caught up and we'll never get nowhere because we have everybody trying to be right opposed to we trying to make decisions based on what's correct, not necessarily what's right. Because right and wrong is in the eye of the beholder. And if you argue right and wrong, you'll never get goals achieved. If you argue right and wrong, you'll never get consensus. If you argue right and wrong, you'll never come to the point of being able to work together. But if you come together and argue correctness, then there's a correct way to do something, and there's a way that's not correct. That tend to be a little more foundationally solid. I get so sick, and I constantly fight back. I get so sick of this continued division, intentional division between us. Now it says, unto us a child was born, and his name should be a wonderful counselor, and his name should be called God with us. So if all these things was true, then why we treat each other so bad again? Why church people disrespect church people? If we're supposed to be made so holy because this great gift was given, Why do we talk about each other? Why I don't have enough gall or kahunas to come to you as the Bible say that I should do? If I have something with a brother or sister, go to them and talk to them and try to work it out with them. Opposed to now, we see how messed up it is. And so now the new face, and I say this all the time, the face of the slave master look just like you. Those Negroes that's copying those Cajunoids are imposing the same type of enslavement on you. And even when they know it's right, they're still going to do what's wrong because they want power over you. If we're going to fix us as a people, we have to set all our titles aside, all our egos aside. I was talking to a brother yesterday, and he was telling me he went to the Mother Church, and that the Archbishop is now wearing a white zucata. Y'all know what zucata is, right? The thing that they wear on their head, the bishop. Well, you know he was wearing the red, yeah, because he was like the head. But now he's wearing the white. You know what white represent? Purity. But who wear the white? Who wear white? White folks. No. The Pope. The Pope wear all white. And he brought that to my attention. I'm like, I don't even know that. I'm not plugged in, because... Yes, well, that's what I'm hearing. He wearing that Pope thing. That's what I'm hearing. But here I am. I'm supposed to be a part of this, but I don't know nothing about that because that's not important to me. What's important to me is building a foundation, again, that our grandchildren can stand on. And I say grandchildren because all of us have grown children now. And they either have been framed, into who they're going to be somewhat. So now our target have to be our grandchildren. But we have a responsibility to our grandchildren to build a strong enough foundation that they have something to work with. But if we keep being divisive, if we keep being separative, if we keep claiming to something that was meant to enslave us, not free us. Because if we sat down and we talk about the three latest religions that everybody follow. Now, I find it suspect. You say Christianity, Islam, Judaism. But I say, well, God didn't work before then. It's proven fact that we've been on the planet over 4 million years. And God just started working 8,000 years ago. I'm suspect of that. In fact, I don't believe that at all. But anyway, so then we have, in that, listen to how foolish this stuff is. In that, you have the same prophets, so-called prophets, and you still have division. They all come from the same family, 1 man, 4 women, 12 sons. Do you hear what I'm saying? One man, 4 women, 12 sons. It's where all that stuff comes from, and look how divisive it is. That's proof that the so-called family that they don't represent is being towed down by them because they're not family people. Now, they had, I was watching something last night about that, where how people, family is separated, and then they use the Bible as an excuse where the Bible says for a son to be against the father and the father against the son. But that's not talking about these stupid issues where you claim to somebody as your savior and you have to hate this one because he don't or she don't. Or that's not to include that now the truth been revealed that the black woman is the mother of civilization. So I'm a part of a group on Facebook called the Black Woman is God. Y'all know where I'm at with that. Y'all, the goddess of the earth. The only heaven that most people know is their mama's stomach until they come on the planet. Then we have to find our heaven here on this planet. Because if you don't look like the great prophet Bob Marley said, if you know what life is worth, you better look for it while you're here on earth. You don't see nobody else trying to prepare themselves for the afterlife. Don't nobody know what come in the afterlife, but you know what come in this life. And what come in this life is preparation meets opportunity. But if you're not prepared, if the opportunity makes itself available to you, you won't be able to take advantage of it. Why? Because you didn't do the first part, preparation. So what must I prepare myself for? Should I prepare myself to go out and lift up the name of Jesus? Should I prepare myself to go out and lift up the name of Allah? Should I prepare myself to go lift up the name of Jehovah? And whichever one I do, them same old white folks that'll kill those who don't, or kill you too. So white folks don't stop and say, are you Muslim, Christian, or Jewish? You black, we kill you. So black people have to see that the very thing that we fight to be a part of doesn't represent us at all. So now, what represents us? How do we come together as people that's not influenced by other people's crap, ideologies, theologies, doctrine, and dogma, and we come together in oneness because we realize that the only way our little ones we leave behind is going to have anything made affordable to them that they can be accountable to, we didn't put it together so they don't have it. And so they said, I was reading the article, says that we as black people are in worse shape today with so-called more than they was in the 60s. Because in the 60s, in the 50s, they was holding it. They was working together. There was one. Where now, the sister was talking about the divide. I was listening to Malcolm X's daughter last night. And she was talking about how the same thing I've been saying, that, like Curtis Mayfield said, welfare became the till and daddy couldn't sign. Now daddy can't be seen, so the family has become a crime. Then they made the black woman think that you don't need the black man because we're going to give you these few nickels. We're going to let you live in the house and pay $5 a month, rent, light, water, gas, everything. Then we're going to feed you, but we're going to pay you not to have a man. And so they fell for that. So she was talking about the Women Live movement. She was talking about the black woman have to put the black man back in a place where he needs to be, respected by her, and him respecting her. I don't believe in a superior gender. Both male and female have purpose. If you be the best you can be, and I be the best me I can be, then we putting power together. But we can't even get along in our own houses, with our spouses, with our children, because we let the devil foolishness come into our homes and say, look, I'm male, I'm more important. I'm female, I'm more important. And we fighting a battle that was the white folk battle. And what happened, the white women used black women, and once they got what they wanted, then the black woman back to being a double minority again. Because you didn't win in that. Now the black woman don't have a man. The government has become the financier and said, now for me to be your money tree, you have to leave a black man over that somewhere. So now the children is suffering from males not having males around, females for not having their fathers around, don't know how to be a good wife, and the boy don't know how to be a good husband or man for a woman, because all this been separated. And we fighting about who's Hebrew and who's African. You don't think we have bigger fish to fry than that? We fighting about, was Jesus born? Was there ever Jesus? You don't think there's bigger fish to fry than that? We fighting about the name of God, it wasn't Allah. You don't think we have bigger fish than that? When Malcolm X says the same God. He said the same God that the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims serve, a different name, same God. It have to be. If it's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if everybody claiming Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, so if you do that, but here's the deal. You claiming Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what that means? You have gotten out of touch with God. See, you following man, not God. Now, let's be real. Is Jacob one that you would really want to follow? Jacob came into power by deceiving his father, pretending to be his brother. Now, the Bible said that the devil's the father of lies and all the deceit. So now we have taken on the mantle of a liar and made it godly. See, we say you shouldn't lie, but as long as we can twist the Bible around and a lie come out of the Bible, it's okay. No. If a lie is bad wherever it's at, wherever it comes from and by whoever tells it. Come on, let's be real. So the Bible says that the devil's the father of lies and all the deceit. Well, didn't Jacob deceive his father? So we say God was in it. So we say that we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We say that. But then in Hebrews it says that so great a cloud of witnesses are they, but looking unto the Yeshua, Haru, as the author and finisher of our faith. So Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, Moses, all of them, the Bible says, was nothing but witnesses for God, as you are. So stop following those who needed what you need to be connected to the source. But there was nothing more powerful. So then we get, I was sharing Thursday how, when I first came out, I was running behind all this stuff until I started learning some things. I'm like, man, I really thought that I was pursuing the right stuff. I really thought I was pursuing to learn right information and all that. And God showed me that I wasn't. I was just trying to be a part of what was popular. And when God started exposing that to me, then I stepped back from it. So today, if you want to celebrate the coming of Jesus, the birth, come celebrate it. If you want to celebrate what it is, Rosh Hashanah, what it is for the Jewish Rosh Hashanah, celebrate it. If you want to celebrate, Hanukkah, but it's Rosh Hashanah, isn't it? Huh? That's for Muslims? Well, okay, Rosh Hashanah and Hanukkah. But they didn't say Hanukkah for the Jews yesterday.
That's what they celebrate.
Okay, well, Hanukkah. Well, whatever. Whatever when you celebrating, if you're black, when you finish, you're still going to be in the place that you were in before you started. A part, listen to this, you're a part of a business that still holds you as being subhuman. You have not been made, in their opinion, human yet. Slavery is still on the books. You can become a slave today. If they thought that they can overtake everything and have the power, you would be back on the fields today. So what are you fighting for again? What are you fighting for? If you're supposed to be fighting for freedom, your freedom ain't in a slave religion. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just not. Our freedom have to be in unity one to another. As a people, we have to start coming together. There's so much information. I'm telling you, there's so much information out there, it'll drive you crazy. And you have to be careful about the information that you allow to become a part of your existence, because there's so much out there. But you have to seek to know as best you can the truth. We cannot continue to ride on the coattails of these lies, on the coattails of the deceptions, on the coattails of indoctrination, imprisonment, and enslavement, and claiming to be free. How can you be free in a slave camp? You cannot be free in a slave camp. And remember, I saw this yesterday, and it's been going on, this black stupid woman, a politician in Florida, said she thanked God for slavery. Because if it wasn't for slavery, she'll be running around in the jungle doing something stupid, she said. I said, what a Negro. What a Negro. So this is the mindset of the people that's supposed to be in leadership. She's in political leadership. So that means more than likely she go to a church, and that attitude go with her to the church. So the only thing that the light that's coming from her is not the light of the Most High Creator. It's not the light of the Most High Creator. So a person thank God for their ancestors being treated worse than animals. Is that something to thank God for? Really? So at what point, who do we get to the table? If we have our supposed intelligent, intellectual people that's making careless statements like that, then who comes to the table for us as black people? Who represents us? What ideology do we go under? You know, as it like they was talking about starting another branch of government, and I said, then they're gonna get corrupt. I'm a self-governance type person. Self-governance. I don't need nobody to govern over me. I'm self-governance. Between me and the Most High Creator, I'm good. So, but we always think that someone have to be over us. We always think that something have to be better than us. We always think that our drink is not hot enough. Our drink is not cold enough. Why? Because the very people that we looking for validation from will never give you that what you need to make yourself free. But if you know who you are and the Most High Creator, and you actualize that, and if to you a child was born, if to you a child was born, if to you that child is your Emmanuel, and you claiming less than the gifts that was granted with that, then either they're stupid or you stupid. Somebody's stupid, though. Somebody's stupid for either believing in something that's not beneficial to them, or believing that someone that hate them openly to today have their best interests at heart. Are you that stupid? So that's a serious question. Are you stupid enough to believe that these people have your interests at heart? Not even your best interests, your interests, period. So if we don't come together as a people and trying to make life better for that came after us, then all we did is wasted our time on this planet called Earth. You know, some people think that because they achieve certain things and they reach certain goals or certain markers, that they're successful. For me, success is that I do enough that those who are behind me have something to stand on. Did I contribute enough? Did I dedicate myself enough to make things different for those behind me? Do I get that the only way that we're gonna survive as a people, if I do my part to make things better, that our people have access to the things that we don't have access to because we don't control it. But ownership and control is power. And when we start owning, we start controlling, then we have power to do what? To make life better for those who come behind us. But if we stay in a system that was designed by the enemy to keep us non-thinking slaves, then we'll never be someone who our grandchildren should be proud of. If you don't know the importance of what you're committing yourself to and how it's going to affect your grandchildren and their children, then are you someone that should be working in the kingdom? Are you someone that's worthy of God and God's expectation for humanity? If God says, the God of the Bible says, if free, that we're going to be free. See, a man that is set free is free indeed. A woman that's set free is free indeed. But what being set free mean? It set free mean that I go from out of the frying pan into the fire. You know, that I don't change my conditions. I keep the same conditions. Like they on Facebook all the time, they say, oh, these people was Muslim, but they changed to Christianity. And I say, and what did they gain? They ain't gained nothing. They're in the same place. They did nothing, because now they're going to start the same slave master, same game. Same game, just covered a different way. Let's be real about it. Our ancestors was beaten and killed to be forced into Christianity. Our ancestors was beaten and killed to be forced into Islam. And the so-called devil, the Neanderthal that claimed to be the Jews, killed to take on the connotation of that didn't know they had not a part of. In closing, I've been reading some things the last couple of days. It must be something with Hitler, but they've been having a lot of stuff with Hitler. And one of Hitler's things was, his pet peeves was that, and I saw several quotes and stuff, that speeches he made, where he knew that, he said a Negro is the original Jew, the Hebrew, the Negro, not the white man. And so those who so-called Jews, I think Hitler was killing them because there was race traders, because they took on a connotation of a black man, saying that they was Jewish. So several things that he said that, and that's why he didn't like them so much, because he says that the white man know that he's not the Hebrew, that the Negro is the Hebrew. So why everybody want to suppress the black man? Why everyone want to control black people? And what they did is they separated the black family by creating a system that now they're starting to dismantle. So now that you done got accustomed to not having a man because your rent was $5 and that was rent, water, light, and gas. Now you're not accustomed to having a man. But guess what now? Now that we done split up your family, now we're going to attack you personally. Because guess what? We cutting food stamps now. Section 8 is about to be cut. And all these programs that we didn't got you to be comfortable with, now we're going to take them away from you. But now, good luck in going and get a black man to want to take up the slack. Because unfortunately, a lot of brothers have given up, and you can go around any store almost where they sell alcohol and find a bunch of brothers standing around. So we have a lot of work to do as a people, but we have to be honest about what we face with. And so now when the government stopped being dead and we didn't split up the family already, we didn't accomplish that mission. So now when our children, Blanca and I went to Walmart the other day, and Walmart, out of about 30 cash registers, they only have 5 where people serve you now. The other are self-service. And I knew that was going to happen. I didn't participate in it, but I knew it was going to happen. And these people are slowly but surely replacing you, creating all this stuff, this disconnect, creating all this people, not having jobs. I mean, decent jobs just almost don't exist no more. And so my contention is there's no such thing as a middle class. If you think you're middle class, you're delusional. Well, John McCain said the middle class is $20 million. So if you $20 million, you're middle class. So the thing is that what I'm saying is that they have prepared us to fail. And all we had to do is stand back, pay attention, watch what we can do. Is we could stop looking for other people to do for us what we need to be doing for ourselves. But how can we do it? That's why the Bible says, how can two walk together lest they agree? Okay, we know already it's impossible for us to agree with religion because there's not one religion that was created by God, so religion not going to do it. So we celebrate in a Christian setting, so it's Christmas time. Now, the truth is yesterday was the longest day in the year because the sun is the farthest away from the moon, from the earth. And on the 25th, it'll wake up and start its journey back towards the moon, giving us longer days, going into the longer nights, days and shorter nights. So all this stuff was going on I've been reading on this stuff all week. So you got all this solstice stuff going on. You have the light being the moon, and see people gonna tell you all this. See, they have black people that have this knowledge that December the 25th is not about a child being born. It's about the sun, the light, the giver of life, coming back to a rebirth. Then when the Romans came in, that's what the Romans celebrated. So then they say, well, we're going to celebrate Jesus. But historically, they wouldn't have celebrated Jesus. Historically, they would have celebrated Mary, not Jesus. That's the truth. So when they came up, they said, well, we're going to focus it on the male and take it from the female, so we're going to do this and do that. And you're going to have all this information. Now, I say this because if you have a discussion and someone come to you with this information, don't just throw the information away. Research it, but you do all this stuff. And earlier, it was said that we know that the 25th really wasn't his birthday. In fact, he wasn't even born in December. So if he was born, so that's not something. But again, all that can do is cause us to be divided. We can't forget, divided we fall. So, and for us not to be divided, leave people belief systems alone. As long as people giving back more to the earth than they're taking from it, living in peace, in harmony, sharing their goodness with people, leave them alone. because guess what? Again, I started off earlier and I do close here saying that historically, we can only research back so far. Then we have to figure out what information been tainted with. What did they put there for us to swallow? What poison did they put there for us to swallow? And that we didn't die. The poison didn't kill us. It didn't kill our physical body, but it killed our brain. And it stopped us from thinking. And we allow people to tell us, don't think about it. I say it is right, so it's right. Don't challenge it. You don't challenge God. You don't ask God no question. I bet you I ask God a question if I don't understand. Because I can't deal with it if I can't comprehend it. So my days of just doing it because it's say to do it and all that is over. I don't do that no more. I look for validation. If it can't be validated, I don't care what it is. I don't care who said it. If there's no validation, Bernardo's not jumping on that wagon. We done that too far, too long, and look at where it have us as a people. We are saints. We are too divided as a people. We must see that the plan of the enemy was to divide us and conquer us. And we have too many of us black people fighting against each other with stuff that the enemy put over our head. And if we don't seek ye first God and God's righteousness and ask God to lead us down the pathway of righteousness, then we're going to always be lost in somebody else's crap. So I say to you, if you believe in Jesus, in Christmas, good for you. Happy Jesus time or whatever. If you don't, then good for you. Whatever you believe in, happy that time, that's your right. Because it's all stuff that nobody can validate. None of it. All the information we have has been tainted by our enemy. So we're going to fight each other to death. We're going to fight each other to death for stuff that we can't even prove is beneficial to us. Now, of course, we know that I believe in the Most High Creator. We know that. I believe that the great energy rule and all that. We know that. I believe that the black woman is the mother of civilization. Y'all know that. I believe that before the white man came in, that the black woman was reverenced as the mother of the earth and the air. Y'all know that. Outside of that, I don't believe in that other stuff. Not no more. I'm done. But I know, again, that God is real. So if we want to advance our people past enslavement, then all the stuff that we think we learned, we need to relearn. Or when we come to the table, leave it outside to include me as well. We need to leave our stuff outside and bring our wisdom, our knowledge, and our greater understanding of who we are, who we was created to be, and who the Creator is. And if we do that, then we can come together in oneness and peace to build up the community that our babies is begging us to have readily available to them. I'm tired of seeing things like we spend $1 trillion. We spend $1 trillion and maybe 1% of it go to people that look like you. Anybody with any sense know that you can't sustain like that. That's not sustainable. So we have to do better. Again, I close here. Like Malcolm X said, why go protest and beg an Irish man for a job? He created them jobs for his own people. Let's stop protesting and let's start getting together, putting our money together, creating jobs for our own people that we don't have to go beg. Just like they was jealous of our people in 1921, just like they was jealous of Marcus Garvey and his accomplishment. See, our people accomplished a lot of things, but now they have you thinking that you're alone, you're by yourself. So you get your little money. People have more money in their hands, but they're spending faster than they get it. You have to have every trinket, every gadget. How stupid is it? And I do close here. How stupid is it that a man or a woman go sleep outside all night to buy a pair of tennis or a daggone phone? But if your kid was trying to get in a top-notch school, would you go sleep outside for that? But people, and then fighting, killing up each other for trinkets. Look, it's a well-known fact that a telephone can last you 20 years, but they set it to break just after 2 when the warranty is up. Come on, man, we know that. It's because they know we're the dumbest consumers on the planet. Why? Because we're not thinking no more. We're just doing. We have to get back to thinking, stop doing just because, and start doing because it's beneficial not only to you as a person, but to us as a people. God bless you. God keep you. This is truly my prayer. Assalamu alaikum. I say peace. Hotel. Namaste. All right, Bishop. Good morning, sir. Good morning, my Bishop. It's Marion, good morning, good morning. Elizabeth, good morning. Raymond, good morning, cuz. I don't want to talk to you, bro. Kind of Fat Dina, good morning. Robert Price, good morning, sir. Thank you for coming on. God bless. God keep. Have a blessed day. Assalamu alaikum. I say peace. Hotel. Namaste.